Hey guys, Dave Schmidt's ResistanceBandTraining.com. Doing a little bit of lengthening of my hamstring on my left and also at the same time lengthening my hip flexor on the right. Why am I doing that? Because you know what? They work together. And when one is tight, the other one probably is tight with it. Again, it's a synergistic reflex, a synergistic movement that your body has, and you got to watch out for it. Because a lot of times guys will stretch their hamstring and not take into account what their opposite side hip flexor is doing. As a result, they're going to get in trouble with that, and you're going to go ahead and not get true lengthening, true separation of your hip, especially in the sagittal plane. So let me take you through exactly how to go ahead and watch for this and to make sure that you're correcting for it when you're doing your stretching. Okay, so again, we always talk about putting the foot against the wall. Why? Because that allows me to go ahead and separate out and create some force through this leg to lock this hip into extension. Now, as soon as I lock that hip into extension and I lengthen this out, I'm going to get great separation between my hamstring here on my left and my hip flexor on my right. But more importantly, I'm going to get great hip flexion on my left, great hip extension or maintaining of hip extension on my right. So now you're dropping in here, you're pressing up. Real important that you go ahead and you're aware of what's happening on your right side. And the best way I can tell you is, hey, push against the wall, lock that quad tight every time you squeeze the left hamstring tight. And just make sure those two are working together. You start doing that, you're going to get some serious stretching between this component of your hamstring on your left, hip flexor on your right. You're really going to get some nice lengthening of that, and it's going to be real functionally based lengthening. So again, dropping it up there. Now a nice contrast to that, just to make sure you're getting great separation. Hold this straight here, bring this leg up, and see if you can start doing a little bit of active straight leg raise while you're doing that. These two together are really powerful in making sure you're getting good separation, good disassociation of your hip on your left, hip on your right when it comes to hip flexion and hip extension. Add it in, make sure you're making that correction, and let's go ahead and really start teaching that left side and that right side how to go ahead and separate, disassociate, and come back together. You do that, you're going to start seeing some serious function, some serious improvement in your ability to run, your ability to kick, your ability to go ahead and explode, because now that left hamstring is not inhibiting that right hip flexor, that right hip flexor not inhibiting that left hamstring, and guess what? Flip it over, same side, same thing goes through the other way. So you know what? Now you're really going to get some nice hip mobility, especially in the sagittal plane. Alright, so add that little component in, make sure you make that correction and get that squared away right away.